Welcome back, everybody. Just gonna get into this game real fast. It's time for the last match of the night. The round of 16 is here, and we are almost done with Group A. We've had DeWalt advance out 2-0-2-0 straight into the round of 8, and now we have to find out who is going to join him. And so we're moving on to our last best of 3 of the night. It's going to be Dandy taking on KogeT for the second time tonight.
Yeah, and we're gonna get different maps this time. We've got Sylphid first. What was the second map for?
It was block. Oh, for the first time. For the first time.
Yeah, we had Heartbeat.
Circuit Breaker.
Was it Circuit Breaker?
I think it was Heartbeat. Was it Benzene as the second map?
I already can't remember, but I'm happy that we got another
It's so long
map.
ago.
That's
so right.
Long.
Well, our final series is going to be Sylphid, Circuit Breaker, and Heartbeat. So, once again, I think you have to hope for a third game because these guys are so badass. I really want to see what KogeT has in store to stop Dandy from two-port wraithing him into the ground like he did last game. It was close to a defense, but ultimately, close only counts in horseshoes, so it doesn't work out. So, we get the revenge match, and it's going to start off on Sylphid. So, if you are ready, Nyoken, I am ready to go. Let's do it. Game number 1 on Sylphid. It's going to be KogeT versus Dandy. Winner of the series advances on to the next round. Hello everybody, we are here in game number 1 of our final series of the night. In the bottom or left-hand corner, in the orange as Terran, this is our Polish player KogeT.
And in the bottom right, we've got the Peruvian Terran Dandy. And as Zero pointed out to us in the chat, that it was Circuit Breaker as the second game with the Bunker Rush. I already blocked that out of my mind, because when I 14 Command Center, I hate losing to that. So, I wonder what we're going to see from both of these players. Is Dandy going to go into another gassy 6-man? Seems to just be the trend with him, but maybe KogeT, maybe he's going to go 14 Command Center this time. Again.
Well, I mean, that is truly kind of the meme meta game. I think the forward racks is a pretty solid way. I really kind of want to fast forward like 6 to 9 months into the future to try to see like, okay, what is going to happen to like kind of change this matchup up? Because it's a 20-year-old game, but we're still changing things a lot. We've got things like Molzerg 1-1-1 being perfected, weird Goliath builds, and crazy ways to make just about anything work on a lot of our newer maps. So let's see if we get one of those 14 CCs. Doesn't look like we're gonna have one just yet. Although there is this SCV out in the middle of the map.
Yes, so this is going to be 14 Command Center. He's just scouting to make sure he's not facing a forward racks or proxy rack. So again, 14 Command Center coming up for KogeT. This time Dandy's going for 12 gas. This is just me pretty standard from him. And I agree with what you said. The game is so old that 15 years ago, if somebody expanded versus me in Terran versus Terran, it would almost be a free win for me because people just didn't have the optimization. But now you see Terran players getting away with command centers. There's a whole the matchup has changed completely. Also back in my day, like if we go way back, like way back, like the Sim days, me and the Sim playing, the meta was you go 2-fact Goliath drop. How many times have you seen a Goliath drop now?
Never. Yeah, 0.
It doesn't happen. So yeah, the meta has changed completely. But this time KogeT's going to get away with his 14 command center. So that's a nice build choice from him so far.
He can't keep getting away with it. Well, he's going to do it this time. It's a nice way to start things out well for KogeT. But when you do go 14 CC, you've got to sort of you put your risk out there, and then you desperately try to shore things up in the meantime. So somebody in chat saying, I thought he was asking who is the SEM or what is a SEM, but he's just like, what's up with a SEM these days? I actually got a chance to hang out with a SEM at Arctosis's Christmas party around A super nice, down-to-earth guy. He actually reminds me of, like, if in another life Nyoken had moved out to Korea. He, like, has kind of the same sort of, like, chill, laid-back attitude, and is generally kind of a super cool guy. Always nice to see what a lot of those older Brood War players are up to. So hopefully we'll get a few more of them out here eventually. But yeah, really awesome guy.
Yeah, Sem's really cool. I met him in person in the New York WCG US Open.
Ooh.
Let me tell you, this guy, he wasn't even playing in the tournament, but he was there. His shirt said, like, living legend, and it had an arrow pointing to his face. I was like, oh my god, this guy is just so troll.
What a badass.
It was hilarious.
That's awesome. You either have to be really good or, like, really trolly bad in order to do that. So.
So what do we got for these players? We've got one port, one fact from Danny. This is also not a build you see often in the current meta. You'd see it off of an expansion, but not on one base. And what's KogeT's response going to be? This is a very fast second gas for him. This is most likely going to be 2-port Wraith, but as I say that, there's a second factory coming down.
I mean, factories coming down, I wouldn't have expected to see 2-fact here, but there it is. And here comes the first big push here. This is 6 Marines, 1 tank, a couple of SCVs, and of course he's going to rally after this. And he's going to catch the SCV, but it's going to give KogeT the first kind of panic notification that, hey, wait a second, danger zone. Tank pushing forward, and this bunker is a little bit of a rough spot.
Yeah, and this is a pretty cool build from Danny, because a lot of times when I play Fact Port, I'm getting siege mode behind it, but there's no siege. And even without the siege, is forcing out another bunker, because of course Dandy doesn't know, KogeT doesn't know that. So he's getting siege also, but he's building all these tanks. But guess what? Tanks don't hit air, and we've got Cloaked Wraith coming. I don't see an armory anywhere. Oh, okay, it's at the natural, it's almost done. But where's the comsat? There's no comsat, and even if he had one or had an academy, his bunker just blocked his nat comsat.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Wow. Unfortunately, that's not bunker is not an add-on to the command center, so that will not be working out there. He's trying to micro this tank to take hits and then come back and repair it, but this is just going to take quite a bit of work, and the Wraith reigns supreme in the air. Even Cloak now done. This is such a sick push here from Dandy, and KogeT just looks completely blindsided by this.
Yeah, he even lost his first tank. Now it's 2 tanks versus 1. Of course, Dandy... Oh, Dandy just now got siege mode! And now there's 2 tanks versus 1. This could be it.
Yeah, you're going to have to either do or die right here, and it looks like it's going to be the latter of those options. DPS from the Marines taking down all the SCVs with siege mode here to kill the bunker eventually. I don't think it gets much better than this. GG, KogeT taps out, and Dandy takes game number 1 of our final series.
That's a brutal timing that Danny just hit. I love that build. I think I might steal that one. Usually I do get siege faster. I always feel vulnerable because your unit count is so low. But you saw how many units he had by delaying this siege mode. He had like 5 Marines, a Vulture, 3 tanks. And he knows all he has to do is match the siege at some point. Also, the Wraith, by getting 1 Wraith, it forces out Goliath, which means you're going to have the tank advantage. So that was brilliant from Dandy.
Yeah, he calculates it so he has a tank advantage, he's got Marine advantage. Siege mode hits there as sort of like the nail in the coffin at the end. It's like, what are you going to do? And the Wraith, I really like that touch there, because I think if maybe something had gone wrong with the push, maybe the Wraith kind of is the band-aid that helps you kind of hold on. That's so good. I feel like when you looked at on paper the group here, maybe you said that Nemu is like the underdog, but then who makes it out there? I think it does depend on who's playing better on the day. Obviously, any of these 3 players could even have a chance at winning this tournament, and all of them have made it very deep in the playoffs. But it seems like Dandy is just kind of on another level with the way that he's playing right now, and it's going to be really hard for KogeT to kind of come back and see if he can take game number 2.
Yeah, Dandy, he looks really sharp, and this is a guy that last BSL he's playing Protoss sometimes. Like he was off racing, and now he's decided that he's going to play Terran, I guess, all the time. See, I like that choice because
I think KogeT actually enforced the TBT. I think he made it. He put up a fuss and said, no race swapping, something like that. I don't know. Either way, whoever made the decision, I'm actually really happy to see Danny's Terran. I think he's one of the best Terrans in the world. So, I mean, I can't argue.
Yeah, he's great. So I'm looking forward to this. And now I hope we have a real circuit breaker game, not bunker versus bunker. So I'm ready to go.
Will it be a meme rematch where they both do these bunker styles? I don't know. But yeah, let's get into it. It's game number 2 of our rematch of our first series. It's going to be DeWalt advancing out in first place. Who comes out in second? Danny versus KogeT coming up next on Circuit Breaker. Let's go. All right, here we are. The map is Circuit Breaker, and in the bottom right-hand corner, in the blue, it is our Terran player, KogeT.
And in the bottom left, 1 game away, it is Dandy. So KogeT tried 14 Command Center both times. First time, it went insta-scouted and got bunker rush. Second time, didn't get insta-scouted and still was not able to hold a push from Dandy. So I think that 14 Command Center might be a bit of an overstep from him. What's Dandy's response going to be? If I'm him, we've had good success with the 12 gas. Maybe just stick to that.
I think it's safe to say that the 14cc is going to take a little bit of work to kind of perfect. Even if you do the scout like KogeT did to see, okay, am I getting rushed? Like, can I do this? Still got to figure out a way to like cover all your bases, quite literally. After that, to try to make sure that you're not gonna have a hole in that timing. And Dandy just expert job to kind of find that hole, that weakness in game number 1. So probably no 14cc this time around. I'm keeping an eye on the mineral count. If that gets too high, I'm gonna be suspicious.
Yeah, so both players just going for standard racks. It's not even a forward racks. It's just normal play. Now what I'm watching here the most is, remember, Dandy last time scouted vertically. If I see this go horizontally, somebody is going to need to investigate this player.
Vertical? Yes, it is. Okay,
no,
all right.
That's KogeT. That's KogeT.
Okay, KogeT.
Where's this going? Don't you
right,
better not go to the right side. You don't do it.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
There's justice on this world. Okay, so neither player going to scout perfectly, and that means that probably when they are uncertain, they won't be able to throw down a command center. It is going to be a gasless expo, though. Oh, there it is. Wow. Right as I say it, the command center comes down from KogeT. Gasless expo, but on the other side, it is going to be gas for Dandy. So a little bit of a different start, but of course a much faster expansion for KogeT.
Yeah, but I'm still a little bit concerned because we've seen 14 Command Center, which is better econ than a gasless. Not that much better, but still better. And we've still had an issue stopping timings. I am already a little bit worried for KogeT because we got Dandy again going for 12 gas. This time, he didn't get off a fast scout, so he's not able to mine 3 on gas the entire time. So it is going to be an extension from him. Look at this SCV control, but pretty good marine control. Is going to push it back, but KogeT saw what he needed to see. He saw 1 on gas, he saw the factory, he knows exactly what's going on. And this time there's really not going to be a threat of a tank race combo to bust him down.
Yeah, that was a brutal push, so you're going to feel a lot better not having to deal with that. Let's see. My big question was, when is Dandy going to build his expo? It looks like the answer is now. Just waiting for a few more minerals to trickle in and make that happen. continuing to mine gas, and the refinery is up for KogeT as well, so he's getting that. And all is as it should be, although somewhat luckily, Dandy's SCV does penetrate the base, gets in to scout things out.
Yeah, no, this SCV is going to go down, and Dandy's going to be in the dark for a while. He knows that it's gasless, but in my experience versus gasless, more often than not, players go for 2-port Wraith, but KogeT went 14 commands in our last game and went 2 fact, and that looks like what we're going to see again. So Dandy's going to have to be cautious of 2-port Wraith, and if he overreacts to the Wraith play and in comes mass tanks from KogeT, KogeT could set up a big contain like we saw on Heartbeat. Well, what is this? Dandy, he landed his racks and he's building more Marines, so this is going to be another tank push. There's no Wraith this time. I'm surprised with this push.
I mean, he did go for the push in game number 1. What surprises you the most about this push? Just kind of how little he has?
Yeah, I'm not sure what this push is exactly designed to do, because KogeT got a scout off. He knows that it's 1 fact. The chances that this was a hidden, like he mined 3 on gas and took it off right when the scout came in, is kind of unlikely.
Yeah,
and
well, it's
KogeT's follow-up.
It's a siege push here, so he's gonna have siege mode in like maybe 10 seconds or something. And when that finishes up, you know, I guess you siege down the bunkers. Is that the way?
Siege down the bunker. Well, okay. Well, this is a bit punishing. It's circuit breaker. If you can get a bunker up just like that, and if he has the issue here though is he doesn't have vision over the natural instant SCV pull from KogeT. But I think this is too early because there's several Marines, but he's got to get on top of it before the bunker completes.
Oh, siege shot! How good is it gonna be? Gets 1 splash off. The bunker finishes. The tank goes down though. But is there a second one? Yes, it's just now coming in here. And the bunker, there's 1 Marine in it for KogeT.
Yeah, this is going to be crippling for KogeT because we're building mass vulture versus tanks in a bunker. It's going to be very hard to make these vultures work. This is probably the smartest move you could have possibly done. It's a run by, but he gets insta intercepted by the tank. Now, this is 4 vultures though. They will be able to fight the tank by. Will they? Okay, now it's going to get prepared. But the one saving grace for KogeT so far is Dandy doesn't have any vision into the net, so he can't hit this command center just yet. But once this rack sits here, oh, look at the perfect timing to deny the vultures.
No. Wow, that is so sick. And even if he kills the SCV, who cares? It's a block is a block is a block. Those are sad vultures. There's a tank there to defend, and the siege contain continues. And eventually this Rax is going to float over here to give vision to the CC.
Yeah, KogeT's falling apart a little bit. We got supply blocked, and we put down tons of depots all at once, floating 700 minerals, while a contain is at our base, more vultures being bled. Meanwhile, behind this, Dandy, he's safe. He's doing exactly what you need to do. He's got a second factory. He spent a lot of minerals to make sure that he doesn't die. But his unit comp of pure tank with a bunker is just flat out better than pure vultures, of course. Now, KogeT does have 5 factories, so he's going to have a lot of production. If he ever can bust out, he'll have map control very quickly, but it's going to be so hard for him to bust out.
But now he's going to have to invest minerals to repair this command center. There's 2 siege tanks firing away. And, oh man, KogeT, he is just in struggle town right now. How do you break out of here? He's going to try to do it with SCVs, immediately focusing the tank shots on that tank in the back. One goes off. The vultures, though, will get on top of these siege tanks, but the tank shots are just so strong. The vultures try to run by. Most of them get snagged. One tank abides in that natural, and it's going to continue shelling down this command center.
He's desperately trying to get this tank. He's got to get it. It's just taking him so long to bust out. And Dandy's unit count is pretty small. That's one hope that KogeT has, is that Dandy was not able to reinforce that whole time, so he ends up losing his army. Eventually, KogeT's got good SCV production despite losing so many SCVs. Look how many vultures he has. He has tons of vultures. He's got mines. Does Dandy have comsat? He does have comsat. But regardless, KogeT now can have map control set up mines everywhere. It's going to be hard for Dandy to push out because he just doesn't have the production at this point.
Is he going to kill a tank with these Marines? No, that's the answer there. Goliath's out to push the drop away. Yeah, you're right. The big difference in KogeT is there's sort of this rubber band effect when you contain a player. It's like they build up, they build up, they build up, and then they bust out, and you're just like, oh, wow, well, this is that bust out moment for KogeT. He gets a chance for revenge on Dandy, who's been being a jerk to him all game long. Oh no, mine! Actually almost taking out that tank in the front, but it is taken out instead. Lots of mines being erected here by KogeT, and so finally he'll get a chance to bust out, expand. He's retaking his natural, and I guess both players are going to start to look for a third base here once they figure out if they can hold on against the next push.
Well, KogeT somehow still ahead in supply. Dandy has the tank advantage though, and because of that, he's able to push out on the map. He's going to try and go split map to top left. And I'm looking at what KogeT's doing. Okay, he's got a starport even, so he's going to be putting on some harassment while pushing somewhere on the map. And this is circuit breaker. It's hard to cover, you know, every angle. Like, look at if either player went through the bottom of the map, they could go straight to the natural. There's nothing there. Dandy catching a few vultures out of position, but they're really irrelevant at this point. Dandy's going to take mid left any moment now. I'm paying attention to this starport of KogeT. Still no dropship just yet, but you know he wants to go for a drop pretty soon.
Definitely does. I would say that's a great way to kind of bypass. Actually, yeah, there's no detection down there on the bottom of the map for Dandy, so KogeT might be able to get in there if he does decide to go for it. It looks like Dandy is choosing to expo to the 9 o'clock, as you would imagine. Nothing quite committed to by KogeT yet. He does have the SCV poised. He's got enough minerals, and there it is. All right, so he's going to be starting his expo now too. Let's find out what Dandy's choice of attack is. Looks like he's going in with a big vulture run by.
He just has so many vultures. It's like 12 versus 3. Oh, the tank gonna die. He also sees the drop, so he knows that coming. And there's no reaction in the middle of the map from KogeT. He hasn't turned any of his army around. So many SCVs going down, but to be honest, KogeT was oversaturated, so it's not a huge loss.
Mine's on the ramp. Mine's on the ramp. Whoa! Boom goes the dynamite. Tank is taken out. Man, these vultures from Dandy are just like the seagulls in Finding Nemo. Mine. And take out the tanks over and over again. The SCVs coming back to their untimely demise. That is not where you want to be mining.
Yeah, so all those SCVs got wiped out. Several tanks going down. KogeT does have his third base matching Dandy, but now he's lost tons of SCVs. We see the supply lead going in favor of Dandy at this point. He also saw the dropship, so he knows that that's a possible weakness for him, and because of that, he's building turrets at the bottom side of the map, so he's already set up for that. He's even got a science facility coming down, so he's going to be getting that crucial +2 upgrade. Does KogeT even have +1? Okay, KogeT almost has +1, but here comes that drop, but it's going to get insta-killed by this turret. Is it going to make it?
I'm waiting. Just barely survives with 36 HP. 4 vultures in the main. Start to wreak havoc.
This is a good move from KogeT. He's trying to get as many SCVs as possible. But not getting that many. But he does have his third base, and he does retake his natural, so it looks pretty even for both players. Dandy at this point flat out has more tanks. That's the big difference, is if we look at the rally point for him, he's got 9 there. How many does KogeT have? He's got 2. So there's a huge tank discrepancy right now, but as long as nothing happens, KogeT will, of course, build that tank count up pretty high pretty quickly.
I'm glad that we at least get a little bit of a longer game after that crazy contain happened, but I still don't know exactly which direction this game is going to go. It's pretty even, all things considered. Bases up in mining, and decent worker count on both sides. I can't really count the SCVs, but even that count seems pretty even. Although I will say Dandy does have, I think, a few more tanks at this point, right?
Yeah, he's got an overwhelming amount of tanks, and in my experience versus Dandy, once he hits tons of tanks like this, he starts thinking about going for a break, and that might be what he's setting up for, but to be honest, the fires are so close, it's going to be hard for him to bust in. Now, these vultures, they are killing SCVs, but because KogeT has done such a good job keeping his SCV count, it is I really don't think it's that great of a move from Dandy so far. And if we go back in time to one of the previous weeks in BSL, where it was Terra versus KogeT, Terra had an overwhelming amount of units compared to KogeT, but KogeT stalled the game out. He kept his macro going. He camped on tanks. So that is a real potential for KogeT. If he stalls the game, just builds mass tanks and constantly Dandy bleeds the vultures. I mean, the vultures really aren't doing that much. And look at it, like, despite Dandy having the tank advantage, who's got the contain? It's KogeT that's got the contain.
Yeah, how the tides of battle have turned. And it is a pretty good one. Yeah, as you know, Nyoken, every Terran versus Terran kind of comes down to who can erect the better tank line and hold that position. And, you know, KogeT might have it for now. Oh, target fire on the mine! It's going to go off! It doesn't take out the tank, though. It lives with 11 HP.
Yeah, and Dandy's got to do something. He's got to do something pretty soon because he's got a good supply. But look at this constant arc that's getting closer and closer and closer, and now we're almost on top of the third base. And also, KogeT even has this Rax for vision, so everything is great for him. Dandy has a 20 supply advantage, but who's got the fourth base? KogeT. Well, I guess Dandy also has a fourth base, but this is fourth gas for KogeT, so the longer it goes, the better for him.
I'm waiting to see
the bottom. I think, yeah, I was just about to say this. I think this is really his only chance to break through. But KogeT, he saw it, and there's 6 tanks coming down here.
I like that he didn't siege up all the tanks at first. He leaves 2 unsieged in the front. But look at this, reminding up behind here, and there it goes. Taking out 1, 2, 3, 4. Even with a quick reaction, KogeT's tanks get taken out. Now, did he buy enough time here? I don't think so. There's still not a lot back at home to defend. And I think this was a brilliant break by Dandy to crush all the way through and even get vultures into the main.
Yeah, there's just so many tanks for Dandy. He's streaming in tons of vultures also. There's 10 tanks here. So this natural is 100% dead. Oh, it's just going to be instant GG.
Wow. That was the immaculate move there by Dandy at the end. He's like, I'm getting contained. I'm losing tanks when I try to break out. How do I do it? Well, just dial down the middle. 1-800, I don't know, call TVT. Epic way to end the game, and what an ending it was. Congratulations to Dandy, who is our second player to advance out of Group A along with DeWalt. Unfortunately, we had Nemu and KogeT eliminated in the round of 16.
Yeah. Like we were talking about all day, who's going to be the one that doesn't make it out? Unfortunately, KogeT not making it out. Dandy looked great. KogeT looked pretty good too. He was setting up to be in a good position on Circuit Breaker, but that's one of the things when you're the one trying to contain, he's got to spread out his tanks all the way across the map all the time, and Dandy just saw vulnerability, went for it, and that's just how it is. It's so unforgiving once tanks and vultures set up, and you saw it right there. KogeT realized it's over once you get in that position and taps out.
Man, what a way to end the game. I hope everyone has enjoyed today. It's good to have the BSL back after a little bit of a break. Round of 16 is starting off with a bang, and I hope you all had a good time tonight. I know I did. A big thanks to Nyoken for co-casting with me, as well as Zero running things behind the scene. Without him, BSL would not be possible. So, of course, a big thanks to Zero for organizing and adminning and doing basically everything for BSL. And, of course, there are other staff involved. That's why you can hit the !crew command in chat to find out about them. You can find !casters in chat to link to Nyoken's Twitter, which is @TheNyoken, and my Twitter, which is @Rapid.